Steve and Mila, and they rented his home for a month of May. She wanted to come down, and he wanted to come down to check out the villages to see what the lifestyle would be like. A lot of people do the lifestyle visits. I always recommend, if you can, come down in the summertime at the heat of the summer to see if you can stand the heat of the summer. And a month in a regular home with a golf cart, if you can get it, is really the way to go, because then you can kind of blend in from the inside out and get a real good feel of what the lifestyle is here. Because Sue and I has always said, you can buy a home anywhere. Here, you're kind of buying the lifestyle, whether you like it or not. So, with that being said, now that you've been here, tell us a little bit, first of all, of the home. You rented this home off of a private person. Did you go to a website to do that? Or did somebody give you a phone number?
No, we went to houses for rent, the number 4 at the villages.
That's the website.
That's the website.
Yeah, all right.
And we looked at about 10 different homes, some with pools, some without pools. We had the map that Ira had put out about location, and we figured out, all right, let's find a house that's centrally located within the villages. This way we didn't have to go too far north or south. Contacted the lady, and she was very nice, and we agreed on this house, and here we are. And we came down, we started our visit May 1st.
So the location here, is it good for you?
It's perfect. It's perfect. We're not far from the Brownwood Town Square, is it? Walmart, Publix, everything
And this is what, Pine Ridge?
This is the Pine Ridge
Ridge.
area.
And Colony
Very
Shopping
good.
Plaza ain't too far away.
Right.
Colony, they've got the Colony Rec Center.
The rec center,
right over
right.
here, which is the pool and everything. I
I
think
do
there's an
that.
exercise place in there too.
There is. There's there's a workout location. Right up the street we have the driving range as well. I could walk to one of the pools. I could take the golf cart to the rec center pool on Moyer. And there's another pool just past Pine Ridge, another family pool.
That leads to a good question. So what did you think about the golf cart way of travel? Good, bad, ugly?
Well,
let me answer that.
go ahead.
And I thought of you, Sue, too, when I first went on the golf cart. The golf cart is great for short distances, but if you want to go down south to maybe one of the regional rec centers down south,
or up north,
that is way too long for me to sit in a golf cart with the wind blowing in my face. Wink, wink. It's just too, it's not necessarily for me. I like the car, and I love the air conditioning in my car. And it's good, but it is good for short rides, for sure.
So you're saying from here to Brownwood's fine,
Yeah.
but from here to Lake Sumter's a bit far.
Well, we haven't taken the golf cart to Brownwood. We've always taken the car.
All right.
Oh.
So the furthest we went on the golf cart was Belgrade Country Club.
Yeah.
And the furthest north we went is Colony. So not very far.
Well, not far at all.
Not
yeah.
far at all, but I am
Close
more
enough.
comfortable in the car, and you can circumvent the roundabout so much easier with the car than the golf cart.
Well, you're not going to be in them roundabouts in a golf cart.
No, you're
No,
not.
no, you're not.
But if you want to go left, you have to make a right, a left,
true,
a
that's
left, a
true.
right, and I have to do a
Basically,
somersault.
they guide you around the gate,
Yes.
guards, and back.
do.
Yeah, you get used to that after a while, but
Yeah.
it takes time.
Yeah, I can see
We've
that.
always said if you're coming down, get to know your area first, and then venture out from there once you know your area. So,
And we find it safer in the golf cart at the roundabouts that you're not going on, because you see there are people who don't know how to properly drive on a roundabout.
I'm shocked
I know
that
you.
you've noticed people that can't drive.
I mean, it's like you got white knuckled sometimes. You know,
And you're from New York. So
and we're from New York.
From New York. We're defensive drivers in New York.
Naturally, but this can be really
you don't
dangerous.
get lost as easy in the golf cart.
Right,
I don't get lost. I get lost in a car.
Oh, see, and I'm just the opposite. I'm down here a month. I can get anywhere
Oh,
in the car.
Yes.
anywhere.
Oh, that's true. Anywhere. But the other thing is, it's very hot. It's very hot down here. So
Yeah.
So how'd you take the heat so far?
Not well.
Not well.
yeah, there was one week where it was in the 80s, which was pleasant. But for the other 3 weeks, like yesterday was 94. And you walk out the front door and the heat is just oppressive. It hits you right in the face.
Yeah, and the humidity hasn't really gotten up there yet. It's around August, July and August is when the
really hits.
Yeah.
When we start having rain every day,
Yeah, yeah.
and then the humidity gets
The
pretty
rainy
hot.
season just now starting. Rainy season is it'll be like this all day. You might even have cloudy days, but then in the afternoon or early evening it'll rain. Maybe for 10 minutes, maybe for half an hour, and then it quits. And then
Sun
the
comes back
humidity
out,
comes
and you go
out.
back to
Yeah,
business.
Okay, so
Yeah,
tell us
it's
now.
off.
So, what's your best experiences so far here in the village that you found really, really cool?
Best experiences in the villages. Not what my likes are. I got to tell you my likes first.
Tell them.
My likes first is that it's safe. I feel incredibly safe
It
here.
is safe here.
Spotless, beautiful. People are very friendly. Strangers wave hello to you all day long. You wave. You learn.
Yeah.
We're New Yorkers. This is very odd for us.
Oh.
We wave back. Okay, that's very unusual and lovely and lovely. Those are my likes. And as far as experiences here go, well, I tried pickleball for the first time. The pool was lovely. What else did I do?
Well, I'll read the list.
Oh, you wanna read
so
the
I
list?
made a list. Here is the month of May, and you can see it's all filled out because when we go home,
guys
when
were
people,
busy.
and when people say,
Very.
"What did you do?" I don't want to say, "I forget." So we wrote everything down. But the things we did in the villages. So we did a lot of swimming. Mila did line dancing. We played bocce. I played a lot of billiards. I played a lot of pickleball. Very interesting game, and I got beat very, very,
Often.
very often. And I said, I'll be able to keep up with this older gentleman, and he just kicked my butt. I went to the driving range, and the both of us went out on the putting greens a couple of times. That was fun. The house came with 2 bikes, so we did a lot of bike riding. We did a lot of walking, and we walked at the preserve down by Bill Glade. Just driving around with the car and tooling around in the golf cart, checking things out. We went on the trolley ride down at Brownwood. We played a lot of ping pong. One morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, I got up, I watched the space launch from out of the back door.
That's cool.
Which is
As
really
many
cool.
times as I've seen it, I still think it's cool.
There you go.
We went to many of the larger rec centers, Eisenhower being the best, and I think Seabreeze, which is like the ocean, had all the
that's
seashells and pastel colors. That was
Lovely.
very nice.
Absolutely.
We went to the Brownwood Square one night for music and hootenanny. We also went to the Belgrade Country Club and had drinks at the bar, and people said that that's the best view
It is.
in the villages.
It's one of them, but yeah, it is one of the best views. Yeah.
And one of the nicest things we've done here, we have friends that have moved here 12 years ago, and we haven't seen them in what, 35 years?
About 30 years.
And we had 3 really nice evenings with them.
Oh, how nice.
We went out to dinner twice. We went to the Chop House, which was pretty good. Then we went to the
The VPI maybe? Japanese
Japanese
steakhouse.
steakhouse.
It was
yeah.
excellent.
excellent,
And we
very
know
good
sushi. Excellent.
And then we were at their house
Last night.
for dinner the other night,
Last
and
night.
it was really nice catching up with old friends.
Cool.
And those are all the wonderful things we did down here. And let me tell you, if you can't find an activity to do, you don't want to do anything. That's the way I see it. Because I could play softball, I can play pickleball, I can get back into tennis, I can learn golf. I'm a big bike rider, so if I had my bike, I'd be doing a lot of biking. I do a lot of kayaking. I mean, Mila would get upset if I went kayaking alone, considering the alligators, but I would do it. So as far as activities, I can keep myself very busy. But from Mila's point of view, it's she's not a big activities person. She's more of a people person. And
You mean like a volunteer kind of person to do things?
A connection with someone is much more important to me than an activity. So if I have a connection with someone, if I like someone, I'd be more than happy to do an activity with them, or 2 or 3. But I need that. Without it,
You ain't gonna have no problem, dear.
I'm not going to have any problem.
Well, I understand because I'm not a big game person.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
I hate games.
Okay.
But I have a group that plays cards every Monday, and it's because I like those girls.
Let me tell
It's
you.
not about the
They
cards,
they
right?
don't play
So you
cards.
do understand.
They all bring a bottle of wine to a table with a card, deck of
Right.
cards
Only
on it.
one?
They
One
all
bottle for
bring
2
one.
women.
Okay.
Oh, they all? Well, now we have a
Alright,
party.
therefore-
And then after that they do something else, a ladies' luncheon,
Oh yeah, I have a ladies' lunch.
And then after that, then they have Margarita Monday. I mean, it just
Martini
never ends.
Monday. Yeah.
Martini.
Well,
Well,
but it's all about the people. You know,
Yeah,
I'm with you.
it's
I'm
not about the
I'm not
activity.
physical. I can't do a lot of activities. But I love to be around these people. And so, you know, they want to play cards, I'll play cards, you know. Sometimes we just go out and have lunch instead. And that's fine because I just love being around these people.
So really, no
And
matter what
you know,
neighborhood you buy in, no matter if it's pre-owned, it makes no difference. They all have these neighborhood activities, which is not part of the village's activities. It's neighborhood activities, and you'll have tons of them, and
Yeah.
you won't have any problem making connections.
When a couple weeks
Okay.
ago, I went with the ladies from Chitty Chatty, and they took a bus tour to Sanford, and I said, and I was asked to go with them, and I had such a good time. And they said that's it's just one of the things that's a plus here, the bus trips, because
Yes.
you don't have to drive, you don't need directions, you don't have to find a parking space.
Right.
They do so many day trips, and I didn't have that where I used to live. I would have really loved that.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's a regret. We didn't know about the bus trips before we came here. We didn't really know.
You mean the
what we-
trolley tours?
No,
No,
bus trips
the
like
bus trips
Sue was
off
saying.
site.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
JP
okay.
Tours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so if we had known that beforehand, we would have looked into that and made plans to go on some bus trip.
Right.
Like NASA. I would have never went to NASA. I took my granddaughter with me when we went to NASA and seen all that stuff out there. It was incredible, and I would have never done that by myself before because of parking, directions, that kind of stuff. It's a bar.
A lot of driving.
Yeah, a lot of driving. So I love these day trips, and I think they're reasonable. The prices
they
are
are.
very
They are.
reasonable.
So
Yeah.
not only did we come down and experience the villages, we came down to experience Florida again.
Right.
So I'll read you the list of all the things we did outside of the bubble, as they
Okay.
call it. So we went to Silver Spring State Park, where we went on the glass bottom boat ride. And then we went back another day where we did kayaking in one of the little canals there. Very nice. We went to Mount Dora. We went to the Lakeside Inn.
Mount Dora.
It's the oldest operating hotel in Florida, 1883, I think it opened. Then we went on something called the Catboat Adventures. And a catboat is like a little pontoon boat with 2 seats and a 30 horsepower engine behind you.
Right.
And you're on a guided tour with like 4 or 5 other people or couples. And they take you across Lake Dora and you go through the Dora Canal, which is just fantastic. You go into Lake Eustis, you make a big U-turn, and you come back through the canal, and then go as fast as you can across Lake Dora and,
Yeah,
and
and
get
they
off the
say
boat.
that is so scenic. The
Oh.
canal.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
The
well,
canal is-
They film, what are the movies they filmed?
They
there?
filmed the Scuttlebutt it was African Queen many years ago with
Yeah.
Humphrey Bogart.
So, after all of that, tell me some of the things that you found a little either disappointing or something that you just don't think, you just didn't care for, can't live with.
Oh, can't live with
Whatever.
the heat in May. And we knew it before we came down here. This is no surprise.
Yeah.
But when you're actually here and you feel that heat, walking into the car, walking into the golf cart even in the garage,
Grocery store.
Grocery store.
it's just that if you don't
Yeah.
like the heat, you need to know that it's rough.
And it's
And this is only May.
Right.
Right.
And it's a good
Okay.
thing we came down in May. And it's a good thing that we had 3 weeks of hot weather, because that really tells you what it would be like.
That it's
Just an inkling of what it would be like
I've
in
always
June, July,
recommended that.
August.
Know if you can stand the heat. If you can't, then you are a good subject to be a snowbird.
Well, that brings us to the next con. The con is that when we were thinking about coming down here a few years ago, we thought we could look for a home if we like it,
Investment home.
investment home, rent it out during the winter months so it could help us pay our loan, and then come down here in the months when no one really wants to rent in Florida, which is I guess May through
Yeah.
September. And the home prices have skyrocketed. We're not going to be house poor. I don't want to
Yeah.
do that. I don't want to worry about taking care of that kind of a loan. And if
Right.
we can't rent it 1 month or 2 months or the whole summer. So that's a con for us.
Are you going to look for other places that maybe aren't as expensive, or?
We haven't really talked about that yet. We're about to become grandparents for the first time in
wow.
Yeah.
August. I mean, how could we even,
Yeah.
entertain the
Yeah.
thought
Right.
of
So,
really moving?
yeah, so right now the stars aren't aligned.
Right.
3 years ago, the stars would have been more aligned with, the home prices would have been cheaper. Our son wasn't even married at the time. Now, baby Tamiko was on his way.
No?
He's supposed to be born in August. And I honestly say, if we came down here 3 years ago, I think we would have bought a house.
And rented it. Yeah,
That's-
that's what
that's,
we wanted to do.
Like I said, that's a big concern right now. Is the prices has just went crazy.
But generally speaking, aren't the winter months wonderful here? Aren't they just wonderful when you have a
Compared
cold,
to
cold
what we
breeze?
have to go through up north, and
Oh,
I said, and yeah, I know you probably heard him say the reason we come down here, or I come down here, is because the last year we was there, I slipped off the deck and busted my head open on the ice, and had to have stitches. And that time I said, that's it. I've got a house in Florida. I'm not staying here no more.
If you want it bad enough, you can do it.
Yeah,
However you
no,
use
of
it.
course,
That's
of
true.
course. of
And we
course.
drove down. I'm not a long distance driver, and because of COVID, and Mila was still a little fearful about getting on a plane or going through a crowded airport. It was tough to to
Yeah.
drive down, and we did 2 overnight stops.
Okay, if
have to-
somebody was to ask you what advice you would give them when they come down here, what would you say?
Know that if you're coming in the summer, it's brutally hot. If you can come down in the winter, it must be wonderful because everything here is wonderful.
It's more expensive in the winter.
It's
but
much more
you
expensive
don't
in the
have to deal
winter.
with the heat,
You
yeah.
don't have to deal with the heat, and it's obviously the same activities. Everything's the same. So my advice would be, if you can swing it, to come down here in the winter. And if you like what you see, then you need to come back here in May, June, July, because it's very, very hot.
Well, because one of the things that we put down on the cons list is we haven't been here during peak season, and so to me, I look at the golf carts as gnats. You're pulling up, and all of a sudden, fing, 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 fing. You got 8 of them, and you're like swatting gnats, and you say, "Stop! Let me pull out into the intersection." So we haven't been down here during peak time when you got a lot of drivers and you got more golfers and more go-karts and
Yeah, it's a
and a
trip.
lot more people, and I'm sure it's.
Well, can I say how much we paid for the home? For the
Well, that's
month?
totally up to you. I'm not going to ask.
Oh, you're
I've
not
never
gonna?
asked.
No. This home for the month of May is $2,200.
Actually, I think what you guys done was the smartest thing to do. You did exactly the way I always try to get people to do it, if you can, because some people work, they can't. Rent a place off somebody that's got a golf cart. You did.
We did.
Come down and spend a month in the middle of summer when the heat's here to see if you can stand the heat.
Absolutely beautiful here.
And then you can kind of cruise around and check things out and see if this is a place for you before you drop a dime.
And you have plenty of time to do it in a
And
month.
plenty of time to do it.
Plenty
Yeah.
of time. And go outside the bubble. Go outside.
the bubble.
There are things to see
There's a lot.
outside the bubble. The other thing that's a con, and 2 things. I'm surprised that you guys don't have to recycle.
They changed it. Our recycling went out on Wednesday. Trash was Tuesday and Friday. Recycle was always Wednesday. Recycle had to be in a clear bag so they could see what was in there before they threw it in.
Right.
More.
Well, they got a new contract. This new company come in, I think Leesburg. It's a burn cycle thing where they burn it to boil water to create electricity.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do now. They tell everybody, take your yard waste. Oh, yard waste was another one. That was a separate bag too. Now you put it all in one bag, set it outside, it all goes to burn.
Well, I'll tell
Okay.
you what. When you guys come to New York one day, if you do,
be in
email
the
or
winter.
call. We'll meet
course.
you in Manhattan. We'll meet you in Manhattan.
And we'll have a nice dinner in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Is there
On
some?
us. And heads up, I'm from Queens. Just so you know, in Queens alone, there's 168 languages spoken.
Oh my.
168. So, I know you're from the Midwest and all that. You're used to English.
Struggle with English.
Oh, 168.
Wow.
Well, we want to thank everybody for coming to the show and giving their opinions about things. And we'll just close the show out by saying,
See you on the other side.
yeah!
See you on the other side.
Very
I
good.
almost forgot to say.